Hello. I haven't done a video in a while, so I just thought while I was putting my makeup on today, I would just record it. So hopefully I can do this pretty quick, but I'm gonna do a full face of makeup and try and throw in some tips and tricks along the way. I always start with the Glorious face primer. You only need like a tiny bit of this, and I just kind of rub that in. I avoid my eye area myself, but that's just me. I kind of do the whole rest of my face though. Usually you want to let that like set for a couple minutes. You don't want it still like wet when you start putting your foundation on, but for time's sake, I'm going to keep going. Also, these, I get them at Sally Beauty Supply. They're like, kind of like baby wipes, but they're dry, and they are for your brushes. So they're great for switching between like eyeshadow colors or anything like that. But I just use them before and after to clean off my brushes. I am right now, I know the lighting in here is kind of bad. I'm actually a little bit tanner than usual, so I'm using the Chiffon liquid foundation at the moment. I used the spray tan. I don't go outside. If I do, I burn. So I am just going to put around the outside of the liquid foundation brush. I'm avoiding that well in the middle. I do sometimes put stuff in there, but when I do, it's either BB cream or I use the body bronzer. I throw that right in the center well with the liquid foundation all around it sometimes, just to add maybe mix colors or avoid doing the bronzer step. And as you probably noticed, I just kind of dotted that all over my face. And then I use the brush to kind of blend it all in. But you can also use, you can use your hands. You can use blending buds. You can use sponges. I find some of that stuff like soaks up too much of the product. So I personally like to use a brush with it. I find I use less, but you can also use that big powder puff brush if you have, one of those. I have a couple little spots. I'll maybe throw some concealer on. And I used 5 drops of that. I am also using the concealer in the same color right now, because if I'm covering spots, I usually use the same color. But if I wanted to use it like to highlight or brighten, I would go one shade lighter. And I personally am organza in the like winter, fall, and when I have some color, then I am chiffon. Those are the colors with like the more pink undertones. So those are my personal colors of the foundation and concealer. So just a couple little spot coverage. Now I'm going to use the Sculpting Trio, which I love, and I'll be honest with you, for like everyday usage, I use the contour more than the other two. But in here you get a picture that kind of diagrams where you put each product, and it stays there. So, but like I said, most days I use the contour the most, and I'm using the highlighting and contouring brush. So I have this in light because I'm normally organza, so that would be light. And I'm just gonna dab it just like right here, kind of where like you naturally see that, where it kind of goes in a little bit. And what you're really just doing is creating more of a shadow to make it look like you have more of a cheekbone, which I really don't. So it's just an optical illusion with your makeup. Then I'm just gonna blend. I dab it on first, and then I just kind of blend upward, because you want to kind of leave the line at the bottom. I mean, you don't want like all, I'm not going for like Kim Kardashian or anything, but just to give me a little bit of a shadow there to make it look like I have some cheekbone. And then I do here to kind of hide my double chin a little bit. Really anything you want to hide. If you want to make your forehead look smaller, you can kind of do the same thing up here. If you want to change the shape of your nose, you can do that. You would put the darker kind of down the sides and maybe down here. And then you would do the highlight here, 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 here. Some people contour here. It really depends how you're trying to change the shape of your face, but that's all I'm going to do right now. Let's see. Next, I'm going to use the liquid eyeliner. I'm going to use Powerful today, which is the charcoal gray liquid liner. I'm not going for like, sorry, I'm trying to do this in the camera. We'll see how this works. I'm not going for like a huge look at my makeup thing, so I'm not going to do a cat eye or anything. I'm just lining. Let's see. Oh, actually, no. Not too bad doing it in my phone. And then I just kind of do the outside corner. See how much more open this eye looks right now? But it's not like, oh my god, look at her eyeliner. So yeah, I just get kind of as close to the lash line as you can. I know a lot of people pull on their eye. That does not work for me. I personally can get a better line doing it this way. But whatever works for you. Sorry, I'm just gonna look in the mirror for a second there. And then again, the outside corner on the bottom. And, okay. Also, the liquid liner. I have, like one of those clear plastic, like makeup holder things in my bathroom. I keep this standing up, so if you have it in a makeup bag or something, if you're able to keep it this way with the point down, it helps to keep the ink towards the tip. Also, if you know, you're doing it and it starts to get a little dry, you can take the cap, I don't know if you can see this, and kind of push it in. It kind of gets the ink running into the tip. So just a little trick with your, if you use this kind of liquid eyeliner. Next I'm going to move on to eyeshadow. I am going to go with palette 2 today, and I'm going to stick with one palette, just to kind of show you some of the different colors. So this is palette 2. I did a post earlier today, if you're watching the video on the same day, with a picture of each of the palettes, so you can see them closer up. I am going to use Honorable today for a little bit of a transition color. Transition is just above the crease, and you want to blend it. You don't want it to be like so dark that, like, you know, looks crazy or anything. I usually use like a pink or an orange, depending on your skin tone. like lavender sometimes looks good. This one's a gray, but still works. Also for like transition color, I always use a matte. I don't use shimmer for that. So in this palette I use Honorable. In palette 3 I use the pink one. And in palette 1 I use Chipper, which is a brown, but like a almost orangey kind of brown, if that makes sense. Alright, that was Honorable. Now I'm going to move on to, so that one was that. I'm going to move on to Cocky, which is a darker, like brownish kind of color. Now, I'm like literally just tapping. These are super pigmented, and there's a lot of color in there, so you're not going to want to like swipe it across, because you're going to get a lot of color. I did not do any kind of primer on my eyes, because I wanted to go for a lighter kind of eyeshadow look today. If you wanted it darker, if you use primer on before your eyeshadow, it makes the colors a lot more vibrant. So if I was going for that look today, I would have used the eye primer. But all I got going on today is house cleaning and taking Oven to Taekwondo, so I don't want to be that Taekwondo mom who comes in with like a big dramatic smoky eye. So I am just with the darker color going in the outer corner and up into the crease. And I prefer to do a little bit at a time, and then I kind of blend along the way with my finger instead of using a lot, because it's not that you can't blend it out, but it's easier to add. Now I'm using Romantic, which is a really light shimmer silver, and I'm just super lightly highlighting my brow bone. Also, you can use that like to highlight the inner corner. Which again, I'm not going for a real dramatic look today, so I'm just gonna do a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna go with Blissful, because this is a color that it's right in the center there. It is a shimmer, and it's like between a gold and a silver, kinda, if that makes sense. And it's one that I had never used until watching someone else use it, and I really liked the look, so now it's one of my faves. But it's one of those colors that I kind of didn't really know what to do with before. And I'm just gonna do my lid, and I kind of, with the more shimmery colors like this, I kind of dab it on first and then blend. I just don't like when it all falls down on my cheeks, and I generally don't like to do a lot of cleanup. I pretty much like to put my makeup on and go. So, I don't know if you can see. And then if you wanted it a little bit darker, you can go back in with, I'm using the Cocky again. And you can probably see how the tops of those two look weird. I also sometimes will wet the end of the liner shader brush and use those as like liquid eyeliner. So I do that sometimes, which is why those look a little different. But I'm going to throw a little bit of blush on because I'm looking all one color right now. I am using Seductive. And that also helps clean up if you did get a little bit of eyeshadow falling on your cheeks. So, brows. I never ever used to do anything with my eyebrows until we came up with the brow liner and the brow gel. And when I started using that, I realized what a big difference it made. And so I've been using it more regularly. I use a medium, and when my hair is blonde, I do a real light kind of hand with it. With my hair pink right now, I kind of go a little darker. And I just kind of fill in where I have some like patchy spots and just darken a little bit. And it's got the spoolie on the one end so you can kind of comb them. And then the gel is like a tiny little mascara wand, and it actually has some of the fibers like are in the mascara in the gel, so that also kind of helps fill in, and it will only attach to hair, so you know, it's not gonna get all over like around your eyebrows or anything. It only will attach to hair. So if you tried to put this on your hand and see what it looks like, unless you have like a clump of the gel, it really only attaches to hair. So all right, I'm gonna, maybe I'll do my lips, I guess. So when I'm gonna use lip stain, the Shine makeup removing cloths, which I use, some of you may have seen I use when I get dye like around my head. I used them on Evan because his hair is blue right now. I cut like a little corner of it off. I use it before I'm going to use my lip stain to clean off any like foundation or anything that got on there, and I have found that it really helps the lip stain stay on like all day long. So there's a little bit of foundation that was kind of on there. Not a ton, but it does really, like I said, help make that stay on all day. Since I have pink hair going on right now, I'm going to go with Savvy Lip Stain. But I'm going to do a light coat, so I know it looks a little scary. It looks like really dark purple. I'm not going to put it on really dark. So I wiped most of the excess off and just did a light coat, which actually in this light it looks a lot different in the camera than it looks later in my mirror than on the camera. But and then you just let that dry. It feels like water going on, and it's just literally a stain. So once it's dry, you're not going to feel anything, and it won't come off on anything either. I'm going to go with my mascara, which probably most everyone is very familiar with, but I haven't done a video in a while. And I've had this one for, I don't know, at least a month open, so they're lovely when they're brand new. But the gel goes on first, and you're going to put that on just like normal mascara, right to the roots. Get your whole lashes. And then fiber, while it's still wet, I'm just going to do the ends from maybe midpoint on, not going all the way down to the lash line because I don't want to get fibers in my eye. It's just not comfortable. So with the newer mascara, which has been out for a year now, but I then move to my other eye. So I do gel fiber, and then I let that set for a minute while I do the other eye gel fiber, and then I'm going to go back and do that last coat of gel. I used to finish one whole eye first, but with the newer formula, I have found that this helps not get the gel so clumpy so fast. So, and then when I go back to the other eye, do my bottom lashes. I just use the gel on my bottom lashes, though. I don't go back with the fiber. You can also, if you have the dark brow gel, you can use that on your bottom lashes too. And then you get a little bit of the gel and the fibers all in one shot. And it's the tiny little brush, so it's actually easier on your little lashes. Just another little tip. And then I just go through that last coat to set my fibers. And you don't have to be like super gentle. Like if you have some clumps, and I do that a lot. If you have some clumps, then you can kind of even those out with that last coat. And then I do this pretty much on a daily basis. So I just grab a Q-tip, use some water. You can also just sometimes, once it's like dry, with the newer formula, it's actually easier to rub off just with your finger, but that's quick. So that is, I guess, my full makeup look for today. And once your lips are dry, you can just add any kind of lip balm you might have. This one is a Posh $4. I like it. It's a little, throw it in my purse. Younique does make a lip balm also, but that one, they're tinted. There's a white one. It'll lighten the color a little bit if you want. Those are bigger, but I have these in my purse. Like I said, that one's a Posh one. It's not Younique, but and then you're all good to go. Your lip stain's still gonna stay put, but that's it. So sorry that took probably longer than I meant to, but it always takes longer to put on your makeup when you're talking. So if you have any questions about anything, any of the products, any looks you want to see, feel free to let me know, and I would be happy to do a little tutorial for you if there's certain colors you want to know how to use, anything like that. But thanks for watching, and stay fabulous.